If you're stuck between $20,000 a month and $100,000 a month, it's not because you're not working hard. It's because you're doing 8 different jobs badly. You're the salesperson, the ops person, the client success manager, you're the head of billing, you're the head of supports, and all of those employees are underpaid and are underperforming. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can fix it. You see, most founders think that because they started the business, they are the CEO. They put it in their LinkedIn profile, they put it in their Instagram bio, they tell everybody that they can. But in reality, those same founders are putting out all the fires, running all the ads, creating all the content, posting all the content, taking all the sales calls, etc., etc. And if you were to pull up their calendar or their project management software task list, I almost guarantee you that you wouldn't think that that person doing those tasks was the CEO of the company. And I know a lot of you think that just because you have some team members that you are a CEO as well. But the truth is if every road leads back to you, meaning that if every time any one of those team members, maybe some of your founding team members, comes up with any kind of problem, they immediately go back to you. You didn't delegate anything out, you just multiplied your Slack notifications. Okay, so how do we solve this problem so that you can truly be the CEO and hit new levels of scale in your business? Well, so the first step I take with all of my clients is we create an organizational chart. Now, I know, organizational charts are literally the most boring thing that you could ever think of. But the truth is, they are incredibly powerful because most of you likely have never created a true organizational chart in your company that accurately reflects all the roles that you're doing. So let's walk through how I like to create organizational charts. So at the top, we're going to have the CEO, okay? And this is the position that we all want you guys to get to. And I'm just going to put my name here as an example, as if I'm you, okay? So I am the CEO of the company, so I'm putting my name on here. Now, from this point forward, I know that you could even be the only person inside your entire organization, but you need to write out all of the positions that you're currently fulfilling in the company. So let me just give you an example of a couple of my clients who are somewhere between the $20,000 and $100,000 a month range. So almost every single one of them is going to be their own marketing manager. Okay, so I'm just going to put marketing manager right here. And I'm going to put Ravi because they are doing the ads, the email, the copywriting, all of these things there. They're almost always also going to be a salesperson or a sales team leader. So I'm just going to put salesperson here. We're going to put Ravi here. And they're almost always definitely going to be doing some fulfillment work or client success. So we're going to put client success manager, CSM, and we're going to put Ravi right here as well. Right, so this is a very, very simple organizational chart. But of course, if you wanted to, as you scale, you can go more and more in depth. For example, instead of me saying I am the marketing manager, maybe if I wanted to segregate this out a little bit more, I could actually say that I am the copywriter. Okay, and I am also the media buyer. I'll put media buyer, MB. And I am also the content creator. And I am also the video editor. Another one here might be the social media manager, right? So I'll put SMM. So the next step is called prioritization. And we're identifying who we need to hire first so that we can scale as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And let me give you an example of this critical constraint in action. Let's say that right now you're trying to scale and you have, you're getting leads and you're getting calls and you are currently able to handle the amount of calls and leads that are on your calendar. But the problem is that you are unable to fulfill on the promises you're making on the front end. Not because you're a liar, but because you quite frankly can't give every single client the amount of attention that they need in order to get the results that you're promising them in their marketing and sales materials. And so a big mistake some people will do right now is because there's all these people that are selling, oh, we'll place you appointment setters or we'll place you salespeople. They're essentially, they're hammers and everything to them is a nail, meaning that they think that, oh, because I sell salespeople, you need to get salespeople. But in reality, the salesperson constraint, let's say, is right here. So I'm going to write salesperson. So would it be nice to get a salesperson in your company so you weren't working 8 hours a day? Absolutely. That would be really fantastic. But is it the true critical constraint in your business? Let's say in this example, you hired the salesperson. Well, the problem is that now you've removed yourself from it, but you still have all these clients that need to be fulfilled on. And sure, you could start allocating your time over to client success, but then you're now tied up your time once again. So the true critical constraint in this example is you need to first hire a client success manager, or at least somebody somebody to help you with onboarding and fulfilling with the clients. And once you hire the client success manager, well, now this critical constraint is removed, and you can go back, and your probably next critical constraint is now that you can onboard 50, 60 new clients a month. Well, now you need to make sure that you're getting enough marketing leads and calls and have the capacity with enough salespeople to take on enough of those clients to hit that quota, right? So that's how we continuously reiterate on the critical constraint. So if I go back over here and I look at our organizational chart that we created, you should be asking yourself, what's the true critical constraint? AKA, what is the one position I could hire for that if I hired for would immediately unlock the next stage in the business? So far, we have identified that the main problem here is that you are doing 8 different jobs, and we created an organizational chart to help illustrate that. Hopefully you have now prioritized which position you want to delegate out to somebody else, go out there and hire the person. And so the final thing that we need to do is we need to systemize a little bit. And what I mean by systemize, I mean we need to make it relatively easy for the new person to come on board and take over this position. This is something that my clients get wrong all the time. I was actually on a call with one of my clients yesterday, and her virtual assistant just quit, no notice, after 2 years of working with her. And ironically enough, I actually had told this client that she needed to fire this virtual assistant 7 days ago, last Monday. And then I talked to her this Monday, and she said, yeah, that VA you told me to fire that I argued against, she literally just quit, no notice today, right? And I told her to quit because that VA, she had way outpaced that VA's skill sets and capabilities. And going back to what I said at the very beginning of this video, she just created another problem for herself, because the VA would just encounter any issue and go straight to my client and say, oh, I need help doing this thing. And then my client ended up trying to tell her how to do it. And then it was this back and forth. And so she didn't truly delegate out the position, which is what you obviously want to do if you want to become the CEO. And so when she said, hey, this VA quit, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to systemize everything. I'm going to automate as much as possible. I'm going to create SOPs and documents everywhere. That way, whenever the new person comes on board, it's going to be as easy as possible, and I can get an even better VA. And I told my client, I said, you're falling into a very common trap that a lot of entrepreneurs do, which is, okay, you lose this position, and because you want to maybe save some money, or you think that there was a problem with like VAs all around the world, whatever else it is, you try to automate and systemize and create SOPs for everything that person was doing. But in reality, the issue that you're doing here is now you're taking this time that you barely even have already, and you're spending it trying to create all these systems and automations, when in reality, you should just go out and find a better person, pay them a little bit more money, and then you still focused on the highest leverage activity.
If you want my help installing any of these systems in your business done for you, be sure to book a call with my team down below.